One of the biggest mistakes that I see photographers make is not charging their services appropriately. I see photographers go into forums and online groups and ask the question, what should I be charging? They ask, is my work good enough? Should I be charging less or should I be charging more? And here's the kicker. They're constantly getting bad advice from photographers who don't know how to price their services in the first place. They're telling photographers what they think they should be charging instead of telling them how to be charging. And this creates kind of a self-perpetuating problem that never really goes away. And while this might be one of the biggest problems as a business owner with a photography business, it doesn't have to be. Instead of turning to others who all share the same pricing system, the one that doesn't work, I'm going to share with you how to set your prices and how to plan it according to you and your business needs. I'm going to show you exactly what to consider before nailing down your prices so that you can both appease your clients and you can bring in some money and become profitable. So if you're finally ready to break free of the photography pricing stigma, then let's get started. Hi, I'm Heather with TwoBlooms.com, a portrait mentor dedicated to helping other photographers build and grow their business without worrying about the competition next door. If you want to learn how to grow and build your business, then make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can be the first to know when I share a new video. I'm not going to lie to you here. When I first started my photography business, I was only charging 2 digits for my photo sessions. I honestly thought that my low ball pricing and my cheap options were going to reel in so many clients. Because who can resist a $30 session? Or so I thought. After charging pennies, and I mean pennies on the dollar for so many years, I started to realize that there was a problem. And not just a little problem, a big problem. And I came to realize 2 things. First thing that I realized is that my business wasn't growing. It wasn't reeling in the clients. In other words, I didn't have the right bait. So in fishing, when you don't have the right bait, what do? You either change your location, you go to a different spot to fish, or you change your bait. And I didn't know how to change my location, not just a physical location. I didn't know how to change my ideal client persona. So what I did is I changed the bait. The second thing I realized were that cheap prices attracted cheap clients. And I'm not saying that cheap clients are bad clients, but they weren't the type of clients that really valued my time or my craft. Because I did not start a business to work with people who didn't truly value me or my work. I wanted to work with people who were excited to work with me, who are booking me because of my vision and my art, and who love the entire professional experience. And once I raised my prices and I raised the bar in my business, that's when things started to turn out better. That's when I was starting to attract better clients and clients who were better fitted for my business. The ones that valued me, valued my time, and just enjoy the overall professional photography experience. So really, my prices helped me stand out from other photographers in the market. And if you want to learn a few of my tricks on how to stand out in a saturated market, make sure you stay till the end of this video and I'm going to share with you just how to do that. It turns out that not everybody wants to pay their money for cheap photography. There are people out there that want to invest. They want to spend a lot of money on photography because some consumers, or should I say most consumers, equate price with the end product. Now, I'm not saying this is right or this is wrong, but I want to show you how you can set your prices so you can attract the clients that you want to attract and actually make some money in your business. There are 4 key things to keep in mind when you're setting your photography prices, so let's just dive right in. The first thing to keep in mind when you're pricing your photography services is your cost of doing business. Your cost of doing business, or CODB, is everything that it takes, what it costs for you to run your business. So everything that you pay for, your gear, your equipment, your computer, your subscriptions, your professional services, your traveling, everything that you spend on your business that gets you, talking to your client, your website, that has you traveling to your photo sessions, has you editing your photo sessions, everything in between, those are your costs. And this is super important to know, because if you don't take care, or if you don't keep track of your costs of doing business, then you're not going to know how much you should be charging. Because if you're just slapping numbers on a wall and you're spending more than what you're making, then is it even worth your time? No. So there's this really cool website, nppa.com, where they have a free pricing calculator, so you can kind of plug in all of your numbers, everything that you're paying for, and it's going to give you an estimate on what you should be charging for your photo sessions. I will drop the link below, but let's keep on moving on and getting your prices set accordingly. And key tip number 2 is, how much money do you want to make? I mean, this is really simple. The sky's the limit, but there are different income goals for different people. Some people might just want to make a little money on the side, and others want to make this a full-time profession. So you need to be really clear with yourself and really honest with yourself when you're writing down a number. And this is where you're going to need to work backwards in your business, because you're never going to reach your financial goals, or it's going to be really hard to reach your financial goals if you don't have an income goal to begin with. Let's just say, for example, you want to earn $60,000 a year take-home pay. Now let's divide that by 12, and that would be $5,000 a month, 12 for every month of the year. So $5,000 a month is what you need to be bringing home after taxes, after expenses, so your cost of doing business. So let's just put a number out there. Let's just say that your taxes, between taxes and between all of your equipment and all of your expenses, you need an extra $3,000 to run your business. So that's $8,000 a month. So how you can determine to make $60,000 a year is dividing the $8,000 by 4 weeks. So that would be $2,000 per week. Then you just need to ask yourself, well, how can I make $2,000 a week? Well, if you're a wedding photographer, that's one wedding a week, at least. If you're not charging $2,000 for a wedding, then you really need to start researching that, because there is a wide range that goes up into the double digits for weddings. So that is an easy goal to make. Now, if you are a family photographer, maybe that's $400, $500 family sessions, or 20, or I should say $10, $200 sessions. So just write down your income level or your income goal, and then go through the math backwards. Now clearly this is a very, very simple formula, but only you can answer what your income goal is going to be and how many clients you want to work with, which brings us to key factor number 3, and that's how many clients or how many sessions you want to do per week, per month, per year. Like in our last example, this is going to directly correlate together. So how much money you want to make versus how many clients you want to serve is going to affect your pricing. So if you only want to work with one client per week, then your prices are going to have to be higher depending on your income goal. So only you can decide this. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you how to price yourself. I'm not going to tell you how many clients that you need to be booking. You need to determine how much money you want to make and how many clients you need to make that happen. And I'm going to give you a little hint. It's so much easier to find one client versus finding 100 cheap clients. Another thing to keep in mind when you are setting your prices is key number 4, and that is knowing your market and knowing what your competition is charging. And this isn't because you want to be charging the same as your competition, because that's a really easy way to be thrown in with the mix of photographers. Now, it's good to know what your market is offering and how you can set yourself apart in the market. It also depends on your location. If your location is really building and really thriving and there's a really big population that's growing, then your market can probably withstand a higher price point versus if it's not growing, if it's smaller, you're a small town, or you're out in the middle of nowhere and there's not a huge market, then you might have to assess that when it goes to charging what you're going to be charging. So it's worth noting that it's very important to understand your market and what your market demands, but also what it can withstand. So one of the easiest ways that you can stand out is to make your pricing different and what you offer differently than anybody else. And one last thing that I'm going to share with you, which is bonus tip number 5, is to know your worth and your value. Everybody here on this earth has value and has worth. And just because you might not be as experienced or as creative as somebody else, another photographer, doesn't mean that you have to charge less because of it. I personally know of photographers out there who are making a killing. I mean, they're making over 6 figures, and to be completely honest, their work doesn't excite me. But they know their worth. They know that their time is valuable. They know that they have something to offer to their clients, and they create an incredible experience, and people pay them for it. And if you also step into that professional role and treat your clients like kings and queens, then there is absolutely no reason that you can't start charging the same prices that really reflect your value and is worth your time. At the end of the day, all we have left is our time, and it's something that we can never get back. So instead of telling you how to price your photography services, I want to leave you with a few questions today. So are the prices that you're charging now or you're thinking about charging, are they worth the limited time that you have here on this earth? Are your prices worth being away from your family, away from your kids, keeping you up at night editing photos? Are they worth missing out on weekend family events? Are your prices, or maybe the prices that you envision, are they worth all of the work that you're putting into it, all of the stress, because there is stress in business, and all of the hustle that brings it to surface? Do your prices feel good? Do you feel good about it, or do you feel resentful, like you should be getting more for what you're putting in? You are the maker and creator here. I cannot tell you how to price. I just hope that some of these tips help to get the wheels turning inside your head so that you can make better business choices, so that you can start charging your services more appropriately. Pricing is just one of the many ways that you can help stand out in a saturated market. If you want all of my tips on how to stand out in a crowded market, make sure you check out the link below where you can download your free guide now. Well, that's it for today. I really hoped it helped you think a little bit outside of the box so that you can start pricing your services more appropriately. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you'll be the first to know whenever I share a new video. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.